and join me on this unique literary journey. Cheers! And joining us today is Brian W. Smith. He is the award-winning best-selling author of over 40 novels, to include the bestseller Quagmire, Deadbeat, The Delusions of Inclusion, and If These Trees Could Talk. His novels have appeared on numerous bestsellers lists to include Amazon, Dallas Morning News, Target, and Black Expressions. When Brian is not writing novels and appearing at literacy events, he serves as an adjunct professor of creative writing at 2 colleges in the Dallas, Texas area. Brian is a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, and currently resides in Dallas, Texas. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Brian W. Smith.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Florenza. I appreciate it.
Listen, we have been working on this for a minute, as we said. As we said offline, we were talking about just how busy Brian is. And when we get into this interview, you guys are going to wonder if he sleeps. I'm going to tell you, you're only hearing us through audio format. And I can tell you, this brother looks well rested. Now, as to how he's doing this, I don't know. I think he probably has found one of those little mystery creams that you see on TikTok that when you put it on.
I appreciate it. I appreciate once again you having me on. A lot of people you could have chosen. I thank you for choosing me and being patient, being patient with me and my hectic schedule. So thank you.
Listen, your schedule is hectic for due cause. Now, I know that you have well over 30 published novels. Am I correct? Or has that number increased a bit since
it's actually at 40.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, it's 40, and that's just my novels. I ghostwrite a lot. I probably ghostwrite 2 or 3 books a year for everybody, for other people. So in the last 5 years, I've ghostwritten 12 books for other people.
Now, you know what? That wasn't one of my questions, but I do want to just, I want to ask, what is it like to write a book for someone else that doesn't have your name? It's like fathering children that aren't, like, don't carry the Smith name. What is that like?
So, what is it like? I get asked that a lot. I have enough stuff out there with my name on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't trip on that. Pay my fee.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Long as the check don't bounce, I'm good. And not only that, Florenza, I look at it like this. In many cases, these books there are a couple of people who are established authors.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say half the 12 are people who just have it's a bucket list item for them.
Gotcha.
Right? Their memoirs and stuff like that. So, I would say I've written 6 novels and 6 nonfiction.
Okay.
So there's a lot of self-help and motivational books like that. And in those cases, I'll be honest with you, I look at, many times these people pray.
Yep.
And they ask, God to guide them.
Yep.
And then they'll call me.
Yeah.
So I look at it like I am blessed.
Yes.
I think that we are blessed so that we can be a blessing to other people. And when someone prays and they tell me I prayed and it's amazing that we met, I tell them it's no coincidence. God doesn't make mistakes. So you ask me, how does it feel? I feel honored that God chose me to be a blessing to someone else.
And yet reason number 1,637,823.2 reasons of why I am so dang on proud to say that I know you. The fact that you can do that and you don't feel slighted and that you're able to use your gifts to plant into other people is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I know that you are proudly releasing on July 4th of all dates, not 1, but 2 novels. Like, who in their right mind releases 2 novels at the same time and say, you know what, we just gonna roll with this. So tell us what brought you to the decision to do both. I know that Bill Duke, the legendary Bill Duke, had a reason for one of the stories, and tell us a little bit about that book and how he played into it, as well as the second book coming out on July 4th.
Well, first of all, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've written 40 novels. These books will be books 41 and 42. And anyone who's been doing this for a minute will tell you that, quite honestly, I let me be clear. I am thankful to God that He's allowed me to be a full-time author.
Yes.
Right? Because most people can't. But I also get bored.
Yeah.
And I like the challenge, quite frankly. And I'm a businessman, and my background is in business. My degrees are in business, and I learned business 101. You go where others aren't.
That's a story right there in and of itself.
So most 99.9% of authors out there would never drop 2 books on the same day, which is why I wanted to drop 2 books on the same day. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. As far as Bill Duke is concerned, so one book is called Mad Day. It is a contemporary fiction. It's called a suspense novel. And the other book is book number 8 in my Sleepy Carter mystery series. I have a mystery series. And it's called Sleepy Carter Mysteries, and this is book number 8. The way Bill Duke plays a role is that last year I co-wrote a movie called Premonition that you can currently find on Amazon Prime, Peacock, everything, every place. Every place they show these movies, Tubi, Peacock, Amazon Prime, it's out there. And in that movie, Bill Duke, the legendary actor Bill Duke, is playing the Sleepy Carter character in the movie Premonition. So, yes, the 8th book in the series is dropping on the 4th of July. And if God said the same, by this time next year, the Sleepy Carter Mysteries, I can't say that Bill Duke will be playing them on TV, but if God says the same, by this time next year, the Sleepy Carter Mysteries will be a television show, and hopefully we can cast somebody real good to play Sleepy Carter. I have my eye on some people, but yeah, we'll see.
Now, for many of us, myself included, as an author, and that first time that we see our books in print, and it's equivalent to holding your baby, like legit, real deal. That's something that was internal inside of you. And then it's on print, it becomes tangible. And so I've experienced that, not 40 times, but 20 plus. What was it like seeing Premonition on screen, knowing that was your words that then became book, that then became movie?
Well, it's interesting. So Premonition is a original screenplay that I co-wrote with a producer, an amazing woman, producer, director, writer. Her name is Mahalia Jackson Butler. So she owns the production company too. So she and I co-wrote Premonition. So that's one feeling to see your name co-written by Brian W. Smith, right?
Yeah.
But I've also been fortunate and blessed that several of my books have been bought.
Okay.
And are slated to become movies. And for my personal novels, I've written all the screenplays.
Okay.
So whereas it was surreal to see Bill Duke on screen, for instance, saying words that I wrote.
Yes.
Knowing that he didn't even reject it, he took the script and didn't make any changes. So I was glad for that. And that's just, if you know anything about writing movie scripts, actors are notorious for changing lines.
Listen, it sometimes doesn't even resemble what you gave.
What you wrote, right? So the fact that he took what I wrote and just was like ran with it, I was like, wow, that's dope. Now that felt good, but I imagine I'm going to be on cloud 9 this fall when a book I wrote in 2015 called Quagmire.
Yes.
Quagmire has been bought, and Quagmire will become production on Quagmire starts probably somewhere around November, up in there somewhere. And Quagmire will be a movie, and I know that I'm going to feel even more blessed and just blown away, because I know that not only did I write the novel, I remember where I was when I wrote the novel. The novel has been purchased to become a movie, and the screenplay that's used for the movie, I wrote that too.
Nice. Nice. Now, do you have people coming to you who have novels asking for a friend and wanting to have that Brian W. Smith touch on it for a screenplay? Now, I know that you ghostwrite books, but are you also writing screenplays?
Yeah, I have a company. I own a company called the Script Repository. I opened a Script Repository during the pandemic in 2020.
Okay.
And my company, the Script Repository, we take authors' novels and adapt them to screenplays or television shows. Since I opened the company in 2020, we have adapted 33 novels.
Oh, wow.
To screenplays for other authors. You go to www.scriptrepository, that's REPOSITORY.com, scriptrepository.com. And you can see all the different books, novels that we've adapted to screenplays in every genre, from sci-fi to Christian fiction to thriller to erotica, you name it. We've adapted in 3 years. We've adapted 33 novels to screenplays. So my company does that. Yeah.
Now, do you feel between writing the novels and writing the screenplays, which gives you the most satisfaction?
It's kind of early in the screenplay. I've only been doing it for a couple of years now, and I've been doing the novels for 20. I'm at a stage now where I really, move and blown away when I see my books come to life on screen.
Yeah. My brain is still stuck on the fact that you said you got bored. I want you to know.
Yeah.
Do you feel that this is a natural progression for you? Do you see yourself eventually moving into maybe directing and producing?
I'm a writer. I'm glad just to be able to write it and to see. I like being involved in the casting.
Yeah.
I like writing, but I don't like movie sets.
Okay.
I mean, I'll go one day, but to be on a movie set for 2 weeks, for me, it's boring as hell.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what am I doing here? After about 2 days, I'm like, okay, I got stuff to do. I can't sit around here for 12 hours. And then I'll show up at the premiere to watch the movie.
Take us back to that day where I know your belief in God, where God allowed one door to close and not even another open. He just kind of blew the whole house apart.
My writing career started in 2004. When I learned via DNA test that my daughter that I was raising, who was 17 at the time, I learned that she's not my biological child.
Mm.
So I got pissed off and I just started venting on people. Right? It's crazy. I have been keeping a diary.
Mm.
I called it a baby mama drama diary.
Oh.
For 17 years. What's interesting is that diary became the novel.
Mm.
Right? A large 80% of what was in that diary made it to the book. Names have been changed to protect the innocent, etc.
Or the guilty.
Right. So, book became a bestseller. At the same time, I was finishing my MBA, finished the book. What do? I opened a publishing company and took the proceeds and I started publishing other people and myself. Fast forward, 2005, I guess, all the way up to 2009. 4 years later, I'm still doing the corporate shuffle. Got the corporate job in the nice office and the big salary, etc. And I got laid off during the recession. I went into work on a Wednesday morning thinking I was going to a budget meeting and walked into a room and it was the vice president of HR giving me a severance package. Wow. So I was totally ambushed in the salary and the perks. God knows I would not have quit that job.
That was going to be my next question.
God knows I was not going to quit that job. So what God did was, I realize now, He pushed me out of that job.
He pushed you out the nest.
Pushed me out of the nest. And you know what? As much as as angry as I was and as hurt as I was by the way it happened, I recognized that I would not be doing all that I am doing now if that had not happened.
Correct. That's tough love.
Yeah. I became an adjunct professor in 2012. But other than that, I never worked for anyone again. I never went back to work.
Yeah.
And God, not only did He push me out of the net, He sustained me. He sustained me. He gave me these business ideas. And I opened up a company and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these other things happened, but I can tell you, Florenza, they would not have happened if He would not have kicked me out of that job, because I was never in town long enough for anything to happen with my writing career. I was still writing. Yeah. But I was just putting out books and, whatever. So everything happens for a reason is the moral to the story. And I'm happy in hindsight that it happened the way it did. Well, here's what I've learned. I've learned that we are often hypocrites. Yeah. So we'll pray on Monday and then worry on Wednesday.
Come on now. Right? We don't even make it to Wednesday.
We'll make it to Wednesday. So here's what I learned. If on Monday I believe that God doesn't make mistakes, then on Tuesday and Wednesday I have to understand that being laid off was not a mistake. Right. And although our default is to worry, you have to get to the point in life where you recognize that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Instead of sitting around wondering why it happened, spend more time focusing on what you should be doing or what you're supposed to be doing. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I say, look at what you've been praying for as well. Oftentimes we forget what we prayed for 4 or 5 years ago, right? We expect that answer is going to come right away. And oftentimes we have to be in a position. A lot of prayers are positional, not necessarily conditional. They are positional. That's and we don't want to get in position. We don't want to be where we need to be for that next level. We expect that the heavens are going to open miraculously, that answer is going to drop, and we're not going to have to go through anything, have any steps.
Gosh, I tell people, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Easily. You're like the Harriet Tubman in the book industry.
Oh, gosh.
You're dropping bread. You're not dropping breadcrumbs. You're dropping loaves and recipes, right? So
thank you for that. I'm not trying to be pretentious. This is not trying to be, high and mighty. I believe that we are blessed so that we can be a blessing to other people. I believe that. And I believe that the blessings you put out come back to you. So I started this mentor, going into 2024. I started a mentoring program. And every month we meet via Zoom and I go over various topics from how to get a book deal with a publishing house to how to write, how to develop characters in your novel. Every month, my 20 mentees and I meet on Zoom and we go over for about an hour and a half various topics. And at the end of each session, there's a free for all. They can ask me whatever it is they want. And that's just a little, that's just something I try to do, to help them.
Where do you see yourself being? I know that you've got the series coming up, potential for TV, and the way I was smelling what you were laying down. I felt I heard the humility, but I felt the fact that the ink ain't dry, so certain things that we can't say. But boys and girls, I'm going to be replaying this a year from now.
Yeah. You know what? It's all in God's hands. He knows. Let me tell you why I know. I believe in speaking things into existence. Yes. True story. It was 2021. I was in my living room at the time, pausing, pulling out my phone and snapshot and taking a picture of that screen. My wall mount TV, I took a picture of that opening scene. And I remember posting on Facebook, one day, within the next 3 years, I'm going to be watching TV, and it's going to say, based on a novel by Brian W. Smith.
Speak it.
1 year later. 1 year later. 1 year later, I sold the rights to 2 books. And then it just so happens that within that same time, I got the opportunity to co-wrote. So that was in 2021. So 2 years after that, 2023, I'm sitting there and it says,
based on
screenplay co-written by Brian W. Smith, right? So what I did was I pulled up that old Facebook post.
Yes.
And I put it next to drive, and I posted it on social media. I posted it on Facebook to drive home the point that you gotta have cocky faith, and you have got to speak it, because you have to speak it. Now you have to put some action behind it.
Yep.
But you have to profess in advance what it is you. I got cocky faith. I brag on what God has done for me and what He can do. When I took the picture initially, when I said one day, is God is my witness, I had nothing in the works. Nothing. It's not like I already knew something was working behind the scenes.
Right.
I just was inspired by that, based on a novel by, and I just took a picture of it.
Yes.
I had nothing in the works.
Yes. You had faith in the works.
I had faith in the work. Within 90 days, things started to come to fruition.
Yeah.
And 1 year later, the rest is history.
Now, tell everyone where they're able to follow you. If there's someone listening right now, they are working on a script, asking for a friend. They have a book that they know that it needs that special touch, or they want to contact you. And I'm going to post the information for the script repository.
Yeah, if you go on the script repository, there is on the script repository, there are different tabs, and one of the tabs you'll see authors. Right? If you click on that it'll show you all the things we do for authors. We do the treatment, we do the show Bible, we do pitch decks, we do everything you're going to need to pitch. And then we take it one step further at the script repository. I provide all my clients with a list of 50 production companies to pitch it to.
All right, now, speaking for my friends, y'all get this, get on script repository.
And last but not least, we're affordable. I offer monthly payment installments. So you get through the payment process in a way that's digestible and affordable for everyone involved. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Wonderful. If you want to buy my novels, autographed copies of my novels, you can go to my website at www.authorbrianwsmith.com.
For our This or That, I am going to read off just 2 things, this or that, without really thinking about it. You can answer which one, okay? This or that. So, film photography or digital photography?
Film.
Okay. Train ride or bike ride?
Train. I love train rides.
Good. Sing or dance?
Oh man. I like to dance.
Okay.
I like to sing, but I'm terrible at it. Yeah. But in my mind, I can blow. Look.
You can do it. Sketching or painting?
I guess it would be sketching.
Okay.
That way I can erase.
Yes. Campfire or fireplace?
Fireplace.
Last one, vinyl records or streaming music?
Oh, wow. For nostalgia purposes, I'll say vinyl.
Thank you, Brian, so much for joining me. I look forward to following up with you. And, you're going to be hearing a lot from me. I look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you so much once again for having me. I'm humbled and appreciative that you give me a platform. So continued success to you.
Thank you so much. And this wraps up another episode of On the Air with Florenza. You may follow me on all social media platforms under Florenza Lee or via my website at florenza.org. Until next time, cheers.